Hi, I'm Melissa Hull, the host of The Ripple Effect, and I have a question for you. If you had a sports car, would you put garbage in its gas tank and think that it could work? How many of you, though, are putting garbage in your body and expecting your body to work? Today on The Ripple Effect, I'm going to introduce you to Karen Mayo, who is a mindful eating specialist. So learn how you can eat right and fuel your body properly next on The Ripple Effect. What is the ripple effect? Every thought and every action has a reaction that is felt out in the universe.
There is only one art. That art is you.
On my show, I feature everyday people that are positively changing the lives of other people.
What I do and who I am made a difference in those people's life.
Just as a single drop of water sends ripples out into a pond, the actions of every individual are felt in the universe.
It only takes a split second to cause a ripple.
What ripples are you sending? Welcome to The Ripple Effect. I'm your host, Melissa Hull, and today I'm going to introduce you to my guest, Karen Mayo, the author of Mindful Eating, 30 Days to a Whole New You. Now, Karen, you are well, this is a term I've only heard just recently, a drugless practitioner. Can you please tell me what that means?
Sure. So, drugless practitioner is coaching others without medication and making them eating healthier,
Right.
sharing what I know, and also with that ripple effect, they're able to get off their medications or reduce them with the help of their doctor.
So what we are eating can truly change the composition of our bodies so that we don't even need the medications that we might currently be taking. Food is that powerful? It's that?
That is correct. Food is that powerful.
Wow, that's amazing to me. So tell me, how did you find yourself in this line of work?
Okay, that one is a very, very good question. My sister, as a single mom, she enrolled into the Army. She wanted to have a better life for her son. So Scott couldn't go with her to boot camp, so he came to stay with me during his 6th grade school year. Prior to him coming to stay with me, he was eating everything from fast food to TV dinners, and his favorite snack was in a bag with food coloring with red and yellow and blue. And he was also diagnosed with ADHD and was taking medication. So when he came to stay with me, we established a new routine for him. So he was eating healthy breakfast. I would pack him a healthy lunch, and then I would make him a healthy dinner. Everything was going well, and I get a call from the school like 5 months later. They wanted me to come in to speak with them about my nephew. At first, I thought it was because he needed his medication.
So you weren't quite sure what you were walking into.
No, I didn't. And then when I walked into the meeting, I thought I was in big trouble. I said, "Oh my God, what did I do?" Because there was the principal and the vice principal,
Right.
Scott's teachers, and then when you're diagnosed with ADHD, there's a special set of teachers.
That's right.
And then there was a person from the school district. So on cue, the teacher who called me, she was like, "Karen, don't worry.
Okay.
You're not in trouble. Go ahead and have a seat."
Very nice.
So I sat there and I listened to them tell me, sorry, I'm going to get a little emotional, but they were going to reward Scott with honor roll, straight A's, and he was in the top 10% of the kids nationwide with the online math problems.
Wow. And that was this change occurred just simply by changing his diet.
Absolutely. They were having such a hard time trying to figure out how a C student at best could be A's, straight A's in math and honor roll.
Wow. So Karen, what kind of foods did you actually feed him? Like when you say healthy foods, give me some examples of what a healthy breakfast and a healthy lunch is.
Sure, like eggs. Eggs are very healthy. Spinach. Sometimes he would have cereal, even though it's not that healthy for kids before they go to school. But everything is in baby steps, right?
I see. Did he willingly make this transition, or did you have to kind of, you know, make a decision for him and say no more TV dinners and no more, you know, food, you know, red dye, yellow dye, blue dye. And
Right. So it was pretty much Aunt Karen is cooking and you're going to be eating what Aunt Karen is cooking. So there was no struggle, for he just ate what was in front of him.
Oh, that's so nice. I know that oftentimes when I go to the grocery store, I see moms that have children throwing temper tantrums over not having, you know, not being able to have sugary cereal, or I think the last time I saw a little one kind of throw a fit was over double stuffed Oreos.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm just wondering, what does that do to a developing brain? How does that food impact the health of a brain?
That's sugar, right? So developing it's not developing, and that's the problem. Sugar is kind of prohibiting our children from learning properly.
That is really profound. So sugar is a contributor to dumbing down our
Yes.
children.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you have a passion for this. So Scott was kind of he's your why and why you've developed this program. But now, what are some of the clients that you've been working with, and some of the success that you've had with getting them on the right eating program so that they could eliminate the drugs that they were taking?
I have a client right now. She came to me 400 pounds.
Wow.
And I've been seeing her every week. And she's down 60 pounds just by changing her portion control, and also by making a menu plan and her sticking to it. Everything she eats, she's writing down. And we have been like trading out things and adding other things in, such as instead of butter, she's using coconut oil. So instead of pasta, she's using brown rice.
Okay, so just simple changes to begin with.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
What is the worst food that people are consuming? Is it really sugar?
Yes.
Is sugar the worst thing that we're eating? And it seems to be everywhere. Like everything is being kind of infused with, you know, sweeteners, or high fructose corn syrup is in products that I never even would have assumed would have them, like ketchup. Who knew that ketchup had high fructose corn syrup?
Everything has high fructose corn syrup in it. And not only is it just bad for you, but it's also genetically modified. So that in itself is a whole nother situation in America that we need to get a hold of and a handle on.
What does that mean exactly?
So genetically modified organisms are organisms that are planted, and they're not actually even, yes, they seem to be real. Like you can see a tomato, and it may look like a tomato, but it's actually not really a tomato because it is genetically modified. And it's a seed that comes from a company that hasn't been very good for America.
That is incredible. So the food we're eating isn't even real food.
No, it's genetically modified.
It's genetically modified. With these genetically modified foods, what is it doing to our bodies?
Well, what happens is when they're genetically modified, they have tested them in the research on using bugs and mice and animals, and their stomachs have been actually exploding.
Wow.
So if you can imagine what they're doing to the science-based animals, you can imagine what they're doing to our bodies. And if they're not doing it to our bodies right away, but it's happening over time, that's when people start to have inflammation, cancer, tumors, like everything that the diseases today are so prevalent. And it's because of sugar and genetically modified organisms.
And is the U.S. statistically higher?
Yes.
Do we have higher rates of cancer?
Absolutely.
That's very interesting. So the problem is originated here. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
So we have the power to fix it, it would seem. If we're not eating those genetically modified foods, can that damage that's been done, can it be reversed? Can the body heal itself?
Yeah, so healing our bodies is so very important, and that's why drinking fresh water, that is balanced pH.
Okay.
And also because our bodies are made up of water, right?
Right.
Yeah, so, and if we're checking the pool's pH, if we're checking the soil's pH, and if we're checking the fish tank's pH, we should be testing our pH. So having a balanced pH in our body is very important. So yes, you can totally reverse some of the damage that has been done.
That's wonderful. And now I definitely want to ask more questions, but we're going to take a quick break. I'm Melissa Hull, and you're watching The Ripple Effect. Stay tuned.
Yeah, be cool, just move with the groove. No funk in here to be way too slow. Yeah, let's just do what we came to do, just vibe with it.
And welcome back to The Ripple Effect. I'm your host, Melissa Hull, and I'm joined with my guest, Karen Mayo, who is a drugless practitioner and the author of this book, Mindful Eating, 30 Days to a Whole New You. Now, before the break, we were talking a little bit about pH and the importance of having that balance within our bodies. What occurs when our body has achieved the proper pH balance?
Well, we don't get cancer, we don't get tumors, and we actually living in our balanced life, hopefully, and our bodies are at ease.
And I, it's interesting when you say at ease, I immediately think of dis-ease and what that really is meaning. So when our body isn't at ease, that dis-ease, that disruption is causing disease.
Yes.
So, and really horrific diseases. I mean, my mom has been a lifelong cancer patient and survivor, but still deals with the effects of the chemotherapy and the drug study that she was a part of. And it's to find out now that that more could have been done just through her diet to kind of help her body recover. It's really powerful information. So do people that have cancer, are these people that you're working with, and what are some of the results that you're seeing with them?
Yeah, so I actually have worked with a few people with cancer. I would allow them to eat more greens. You need to put oxygen in your body, and the chlorophyll will help to produce red blood cells.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's really important because when your body is very acidic is when cancer starts and tumors start. So you really need to balance and bring your body back to balancing and back to the proper pH.
I'm guessing that the average person doesn't even know if a food is acidic or alkaline. So is there a place where someone can go? Is this information contained within your book? And I know that you have an amazing website. Yeah. So they can go to your website, which is
KarenMayo.net.
KarenMayo.net. And I highly recommend that they do, because I learned so much just by going to your website. But, as a mom, I have a 12-year-old daughter who is, developing and going through puberty, and she craves things, and I crave things, and we have very different cravings. My son as well. My daughter she constantly craves sweet things, and I am the opposite. I crave like salty, vinegary, or like spicy things. So can the things that we crave be an indication of what our body needs?
Absolutely. So you're being very mindful of what your body needs and when your body is craving. So take advantage of that. Go and get the foods that your body's craving. Sometimes with cravings though, it means that your body's missing something. So sometimes it's magnesium.
Okay.
Sometimes it could be nuts, so omega-3s.
Okay.
It could be that you're missing protein.
Yeah, I tend to like vegetables. I struggle with eating a lot of protein, and my daughter, the other thing she craves is fish. And I've been concerned about letting her have large amounts of fish because of some of the things that I've read about tilapia and salmon and just, and I know, what is your opinion? Like what are the safe foods as far as, fish and proteins?
Right, so the salmon, you just have to, salmon is, make sure it's wild,
Okay.
not farmed. Tilapia, unfortunately, is never good.
Really?
Yeah. It's a farm-raised fish that is farmed in like the lower parts of where the animals happen to live.
Okay.
It's a bottom, you don't necessarily, where it could be antibiotics and all kinds of pesticides.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. And it's funny, as you're talking, I'm thinking about the people in my life, and just my sister is a competitive bodybuilder, and she eats tilapia every day when she's, cutting weight, to get ready for these shows, which I actually have a lot of questions about whether or not that's even healthy. I mean, she swears that it is, but, coming from your perspective, what kind of impact does that have on the body? And is that really as safe as she makes it sound and seem to be?
Well, when someone's bodybuilding, I think they should, this is my opinion,
Right.
going to plant proteins.
Okay.
And again, you are what you eat, so everything that you put into your body is a part of you. And you are what you eats.
Interesting. I think you should say that again. You are what
You eat eats.
Okay. That's very interesting. It changes my whole perspective on everything that I've been eating. And it's when you are mindful, it does, it kind of forces you to really consider what it is that you are putting into your body. What are like the best, aside from the greens, like what are the best things for a person to eat, and like what are some of the easiest changes and tweaks we can make to our diet to really give ourselves an advantage?
I think you should eat whatever you like, but just be mindful of what it's doing to your body. So the effects that it's having on your body. Are you feeling bloated? Are you getting hives? Are you not drinking enough water? Because sometimes that can have effect on you. So it's like all in moderation, but just be mindful of where your food is coming from.
Okay. So what is your, give me some of your tips. What are the tips that you give to your clients about being mindful in their eating and preparing for the day?
So slow down.
Okay.
Do some deep breathing. Chew 20 to 30 times before you swallow, because digestion starts in your mouth.
In your mouth.
Yeah. So the enzymes help to break down the food. Also, I would say make sure you're sleeping properly, because that's very important.
And what is the right amount of sleep? I hear, conflicting kind of viewpoints on what is enough sleep. 8 hours, 6 hours. I've even heard some people say that they can get an effective night's sleep in 4 hours. I don't really know if I think that 4 hours is enough, and some people need more than 8. So what really is enough sleep, and how do you know when you've had enough sleep?
So that magic number is between 7 and 8.
7 and 8.
Yeah, because you really need to sleep. Your body needs to heal, almost like into a fasting zone. And it's really good for your body. It really is, and your mind.
Okay, so what is your position on detoxing and cleanses? Do you advocate for this? Do you agree? And really, what are the benefits or what are the detriments to doing either one?
All right, so that's a loaded question.
Okay, I'm glad I asked it then.
Good. So detoxes and cleanses mean different things to different people.
Right.
I believe in clean eating. So if you're eating clean,
There you go.
and again, it's a lifestyle change, right? So yes, cleansing is good, or clean eating during the seasons. Then you're also being mindful about the food that's in season.
That's true. And are there, with the seasons, there are different foods. Is that really, do our bodies need those different foods, you know?
Absolutely,
So
yes.
as the season changed, so should our diet.
Yeah,
Okay.
our ancestors ate that way, right? Because they're back
Absolutely.
then.
They had no choice.
Right. Yep.
Wow. Okay. So, what are some of the, like, give me an example of how you mindfully eat. What are your favorite foods?
Oh gosh, I love to eat. I pretty much eat everything.
Okay.
But my favorite foods are, I love green smoothies in the morning. They are so delicious. For lunch, well, I like to do a snack too. So I love to snack. I do a piece of fruit, I do lots of nuts.
Okay.
I like to do, gosh, what else? There's a company that I just love their bars, the protein bars. Everything is raw in them.
Oh, that's amazing. So, and this is a resource that you have on your website, I believe.
Yes.
Yes. So, what is the name of that company?
Raw Revolution?
Raw Revolution. And your website is KarenMayo.net.
Correct.
So, people can go to your website and learn about these different resources so that they can begin to select the proper foods. And yeah, I think that's wonderful, Karen. I have really enjoyed having you here on the show today, and thank you for your insight, and you've really given me a lot to think about. I definitely am going to be a much more mindful eater from here on. So
Thank you so much for having me on your show. It's been awesome. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Honestly, you're somebody that I would love to have back. And continue this conversation, because I really think it's needed, and I'd love to maybe look at some things more granularly, like really focus in on like autism or ADHD, and really like look at the foods that are causing problems or wreaking havoc in the body, and the things that can be done to, or the things that can be consumed to help offset that. So Karen, again, really thank you so much for being here, and you guys need to go to Amazon.com and buy her book, Mindful Eating, 30 Days to a Whole New You. I'm Melissa Hull. This has been The Ripple Effect, and I thank you for watching. Join us next time.